I touched on these briefly earlier during media day when we first arrived here, but finally they have come to fruition, and our player-led initiatives through the Indiana Fever are now live and active. So super excited that the visions of us as players have been supported and pushed through by our organization. The first and foremost being the overall umbrella of our initiatives is now going to be funneled through the Fever for Change Fund through the Central Indiana Community Foundation. And from there, we'll be able to pool all of the money from all of our initiatives and distribute them to both local Indianapolis foundations and some national ones that as a team we've come together to select. But the first initiative is Rebound for Change, which is a Pledge It campaign. So fans, friends, family members are able to either pledge an amount per rebound that the Indiana Fever will get this season, or make a one-time any amount donation. So overall, our goal for this season is $21,000 to raise for a variety of community non-for-profit organizations. So with that being said, we have launched this Rebound for Change. So far, I believe we're around 4,500. So we would love to continue to push and funnel fans, friends, and family members towards that. Another one that's in the works that we're still fine-tuning a little bit is we will have an auction that will happen at the end of the season, but it'll be live throughout the season once we get some final things approved. The main items being on that auction will be player-worn sneakers that each individual player has worked with SQ Customs to create a custom sneaker for whatever they would like. Some are going to carry on individuals' social justice narratives, or some are super fun, creative, personal, either collegiate or individual stories. So they're going to be really cool. You can see some of the creative aspects of us as players, and then we will auction those off with the proceeds from that auction going towards our Fever for Change Fund. So a couple things in the work, really excited that we've been able to see these come to light, and pumped to raise $21,000 for a variety of community non-for-profits.
Wonderful. Thank you, Natalie. We can go to questions now for Natalie.
Yes, Natalie, so with obviously I know you're very active in the community, and you're the Don Staley Award winner. I know it was a kind of a focus on for the W to remain socially active while playing. Have you found it difficult to continue to kind of bring eyes toward causes as you guys have continued playing?
I wouldn't say difficult, because we're very fortunate to have both a organization in the Indiana Fever as well as a league that is supportive of us as women before we are basketball players. I think it's more of a challenge to find creative ways to be able to impact our communities. That was why it was so important to us as a team to be able to provide financial resources for these organizations, because we physically can't be in our communities. So I would say challenging in the sense of being creative, but not in the sense of there's not something we can do. We have found creative ways to continue the conversation, to push the education of both our own circles within our team, within our league, and also sharing the knowledge that we have been able to gain with fans and friends and family members.
Reggie Edwards.
Natalie, all this is super awesome, especially the auction with the player worn memorabilia and all that stuff. How hands-on have the players been with organizing and planning and all of this stuff?
We have been the heart and soul of it. Like I said, we're very fortunate to have an organization that supports it, but it was a conversation that Candace Dupree and I had with our GM, Tamika Catchings, first. And she said, if it's something that you guys are passionate about, then get the team together, discuss the details, and pass it on to us, and we'll work on the legality of it. So it has definitely been player-led and focused and something that we are truly passionate about.
I've got a follow-up. One thing that's really cool about this season is all of the players from each team are so close to each other down there in the bubble. With this launching with the Fever, have you had any conversations with players from other teams about maybe them doing this in their communities and all that stuff as well?
Because I am a player rep and I represent Indiana in the Players Association, this was a conversation that we had as the WNBPA earlier in the season about individual team initiatives. So I think we've done a great job as a league, and each organization has their own unique touch to how they're impacting their community. So you'll see other teams also having different auctions, similar pledge campaigns. But I think what's important is that we're all focused on making impactful change. And I'm really glad that the Indiana Fever could be in that conversation. And hopefully this 21, I like everything. Everything's a challenge for me. So I love the competition. That's why I was super excited with this pledge campaign, because here I am every day. Not only does pushing to get more rebounds help us as a team on the court, but here I am like, shoot, we need another 10 more rebounds, because that means another $25 for our Rebound for Change initiative. So the overall benefit that it can help both us on the court and off the court is truly something special.
Ethan Krieger.
Hey, so yeah, we've now played about 25% of the games this season, which is pretty crazy. What is one thing that you've kind of seen from the team so far that you like, and maybe one thing that going forward you could see the team kind of working to get better at moving forward?
I mean, you could see in the game last night that our fight is there. Regardless of how much we were down, we continued to the very end to fight and to pull that game into a margin that we were, I wouldn't want to say comfortable with, because, hey, we want to win every game. But I think the grit and the fight to the very end was important for us to take away from yesterday's game. But going forward, we have to piece together a 40-minute game. Even in our wins, we've done a great job on playing together, sharing the ball, staying true to our offensive and defensive principles. But we have to piece together a 40-minute game. You could see that in the Dallas game when we were up and we ended up taking a loss on that game. But we have to be able to piece together a 40-minute game for us to be able to string together some wins here going forward.
Keem, you have another one?
Yes. Natalie, I know you're currently dealing with an injury. My first part of the question is, how are you feeling, and do you know when you will be able to return? And I know the team as a whole has been dealing with several injuries. Do you feel like those injuries are a result of like wear and tear and fatigue from playing a compact schedule, or are these just normal kind of everyday injuries?
Unfortunately, I'm unable to put an exact timeline on when I will return, but every day I have been getting better. I literally we've created a little rehab treatment center in our villa. So I literally just came from the other room into here after getting some treatment. And I'm very fortunate to be able to work with one of the best in the business, in Todd, our athletic trainer. And he's been great every day, challenging me to push myself to both heal and get stronger. So hopefully sooner than later, I will be back on the court. I'm looking forward to when we get to practice today, trying to do a little bit more, get through some drills and see how that goes. A hamstring injury is a tough one. It's not something that's black and white where you say you're healed or you're not. It's kind of how your range and your mobility goes going forward. My pain level has decreased, which has been great. So I've been able to push it a little bit more, but hoping that I'll be back on the court sooner than later. In terms of injuries, not only with our team, but across the board, it's tough to say. I mean, it's hard to be in quarantine. It's hard to be in a idle state for a couple months, three months, and then come into playing not only playing at the highest level in the WNBA, but playing a compact schedule where you're playing every other day. So do I think some of that has gone into the injuries across the league? Yes, I would say so. But I think it's important to be diligent in our recovery and in how we're training as if it wasn't a season like this. So hamstring injury, a little reminder for me that I need to do a little bit more. So when I get back, I will be back for good.
Reggie, do you have another one?
I do. I guess one positive is that even though you're out and Victoria's out, Lauren has been able to step in, and she was able to make her debut last night. What did you see from her that you're happy about? And with the two of you not being able to play, knowing that going into the game, did you put any extra focus and emphasis on working with Lauren to help get her ready for last night?
Yeah, Lauren's had a tough start with having to go through all the medical protocol in order for her to get here, but thrilled that she's here and able to play and contribute to our team now. This whole week, actually, since I've been out, has been a focus. Chats with Coach Stanley, and that has been my focus in practice. Even though I physically cannot be there, my mental, emotional contribution to practice has been focusing on Lauren. How can I help her learn the plays a little bit more? How can I help her see different ways that she can make an impact to the game? So I was really excited for her to be able to play her first WNBA minutes yesterday. You can see that she's got to shake off a little bit of rust. It's her first game playing a pro, but I'm super excited to see what she can do with her length, with her shooting ability. She's going to be able to be a threat from so many different places. So just have to work on getting her comfortable with a new system, playing at a high level, but big things to come from Lauren.
I feel like there's a lot of potential having her and Tiara down low. That's going to be a scary matchup for anybody that goes against them once they get in their groove.
I totally agree. Tiara coming in and having a little bit of experience, but she still has some room to grow as well. I think that's the most exciting part about our team is that we are young and have a lot of potential. And it's just how quickly can we turn that potential into actual action and actually be able to use that height and length to our strength.
Natalie Havern.
Hi, I have a little bit of an offbeat question for you. On Friday, you passed Natalie Williams in all-time rebounds for somebody named Natalie with the Fever, and then last season you passed her and became the all-time leading Natalie scorer in franchise history. So kind of what pride do you take in being both the all-time leader among Natalies in franchise history and rebounding and scoring?
Well, the irony of a Natalie asking me this question alone is quite comical. But that's a true. I'm honored. I'm truly honored to be able to be listed among some of the greats that have played for the Indiana and played in Indiana, and to be able to be on that all-time list is an honor. I look forward to hopefully passing a couple more people. In my career and in my time in a Fever jersey. But it's truly an honor to know that I am on that top 5 list, given all of the past and current players that wear an Indiana jersey.
And then a quick follow-up. Natalie Williams had 1,832 total rebounds in her career, including her time with Utah. Is one of your goals to pass her?
When I play, I tend to actually not look at a stat book. Anybody that knows me knows that my true being and who I am as a person and as a player is focused on a team mentality. I live to make my team better, make my teammates better. Honestly, I didn't really even know until our media, Ryan, had sent me a message like, hey, you're about to pass and be on this all-time list. So I actually wasn't even aware of it, but I wouldn't even say that it's necessarily even on my radar to pass any more people. I want to win games. That's all that really matters to me. Why I do this, why I sacrifice what I do to be here. Both physically and mentally, emotionally, what we miss at home, what we sacrifice to play basketball at a professional level is to win games. I want to win a championship. So for me, the focus is on how can I make our team better? What do I need to do, regardless if that's me on the court, on the bench? What do I need to do to help us win games? And if that's rebounding, then, hey, I'll pass a couple more people. But if it's not, whatever is needed from me at that time is what I'll focus on.
Reggie, do you have another one? See your hands up. No.
Natalie, this has been an interesting season in a lot of ways, but I feel like there's still a lot of work to be done to really get where the players and us as fans are really wanting to see the fever be. I mean, what do you think how close are we to that, and what do you think is the biggest focus that you have to get to that point right now?
It's tough. Having a young team, having a team that's coming into a new coaching style, new coaching staff, time is needed. And it's tough when you can't have that practice time to really fix or work on things that you might after taking, for instance, like after a game. So after yesterday's game, there's probably 20 things that Coach Stanley and her staff want to work on, but seeing that we play again on Friday, it's hard to really drill those. It's hard to compete those. It's hard to be able to both learn from the previous game and focus on the game that's coming up. So I think it's really just a focus on individually, what can we do to be better individual players? What film can we watch? What can find details? What 1% more can we do as individual teammates to make our team better? That competitive spirit, that fight is definitely there, but how can we transition that into effective change? How can we change how our team is playing? And I think it's in the fine details. That's the tough thing with a young team, when you can always be fast, or you can always compete, or you can always get up and down, but it's can you focus on the fine details? Can you do it to perfection and execution and practice, so that when you have game slippage, it's not falling off a slope. It's just taking a couple steps. So I think that's where we need to continue to improve, is focusing on the time that we do have in film, focusing on the time that we do have in practice, shoot around, whatever hour, 20 minutes, 5 minutes that we have, can we really focus on taking bigger strides and utilizing that time to the best of our ability?